Hello. Happy last Friday of the month. It's March 29th, and we're here again. I know some people are off because it's Good Friday, and it is a Good Friday, and we're here anyway. So welcome everyone. Welcome to the IT Hour. I'm Becky Scott, head of community at JumpCloud. We've got Urvashi, our technical champion, and Trevor is back again. Going to talk about Identity Federation. Welcome, Trevor.
Hey, thanks for
How's it
having me.
going?
Good. How are y'all doing?
Good. Anything planned for this weekend? Or are you just hanging out?
I will be buying a suit for a wedding, unfortunately. That I so have to put on a suit and try to act like a real human next weekend. So that'll be a challenge, but we'll get through it.
It's so cute that non-Indian weddings just need one outfit. I had to have six for my brother's wedding, so sweet that you have to get just one suit. Oh,
Shut up.
beginner level weddings.
And I love how it sounds more like a funeral. I have to go get a suit and go to a wedding.
Yeah.
The two
Some of
events.
the Indian weddings are doing color themes now, so they'll send you like the color palette that they want for like each event. So not only do you have to get a new outfit, but it has to be like in the color palette. So
Do you ever recycle from different weddings?
yes, I mix and match all the time. All the
Good,
time.
good. I was
Borrow from
hoping
my
so.
mom, borrow from. That's a good thing about saris, right? Like it's just a wrap around, so it'll fit anybody. So we do a lot of sari swapping.
Very good. I'm glad to hear that because I was like, ooh, that'd be a lot. So I see we got people trickling in. Hey, Alan and Nathan and James. Ricky, I see you there in the comments. Good to see you. And Brian showed up early and had some comments going. And Charlie, Sean, Sam, Lou, Carol, Jake, one of our colleagues, Will, Andy. Welcome, everyone. We got a lot of people trickling in here and saying hello in the comments. So looks like Ricky said Federation had to be here. So we've got some people excited about this topic, Trevor. So, all right. Happy Friday. So, got, got half my cup of coffee. So I'm halfway ready to go. So we will jump in. We've got our normal schedule. We've got community and several product posts to talk about. Got some things going on. And then Trevor's going to talk to us about Identity Federation. And then Urvashi will try to make time for the news since we didn't last week. I think you said there's some interesting things.
I mean, last week's were fun. This week I have one fun one, but we'll see.
And
They're always posted in the show notes.
maybe we'll go back to last week and read some of the funny ones if we have time. All right, so community. We've got a couple of scripts. One from Sean. Is your SSO feeling lonely? Identifying unused SSO applications in JumpCloud. That's from Sean. And Jurgen has another PowerShell script. PPKG Creator, a script to download, customize, and create a provisioning package for Windows. All righty. So go check those out. Chris has been active in the MSP discussions board. He's talking about his JumpCloud Partner podcast. So if you have not checked that out, he's been super busy on that podcast. Lots going on there. And also, he did a quick Q1 recap of his partner success interviews where he is talking to various partners about their business and how they run their business. So if you're curious about running an MSP, or if you are running one and you're curious about how others do it and how they are successful, go check those out. And last week we posted about Resmo joining us, and the co-founders Serhat and Mustafa posted in the community, and we did links to those. And just a reminder that those are there, and it would be great if you would go show them some love and welcome them to our team. We would love that. Right. So on to the product stuff. So Derek posted about temporary elevated privileges. Lots of cool stuff there. So, key capabilities: manage user privileges, ability to set an individual user's privilege on a device for a select period of time. Super helpful when you want to give someone privileges just long enough to install something and then put them back to regular state. You can automate user privilege expiration, so that elevated privilege will automatically expire and return to the previous setting without you having to take additional manual steps. Woohoo! And data insight events. Data or events are generated when the privilege is elevated, used, automatically expired, and returned to its previous state. So you can capture when that happens. Key benefits: efficiency through automation. You can move on to other tasks without having to worry about resetting a user's privilege on their device or having to remember. Improved security posture. Users' privileges are automatically removed when it's no longer necessary. That is so great for audit purposes and compliance. And next one, compliance adherence. Relevant logs provided to be able to audit, troubleshoot, and meet compliance requirements. We will link to that, and there's more information in the post, but there are also some screenshots from Derek on that. But oh, wow. So excited to have that available for you all. I hope you all, I'm on another screen, so I'm not seeing the comments, but I hope you all are going crazy in the chat about how much you love that, because I'm excited to see that that is available. And I think as of yesterday, we posted that we are now supporting application delivery and patching using Microsoft Store for Windows devices. Tom just posted this. So beginning yesterday, JumpCloud administrators can deliver applications directly to their Windows devices using the Microsoft Store. And as much as we joke about Microsoft, this is actually really, really cool. It's a curated collection, obviously, that of popular apps that work on Windows devices, and these can be deployed using the Windows MDM configuration service provider mechanisms. So also super cool that you can now use that to deploy directly. And one more update on this is from Rob, and you may have already seen this actually. There's a new device full page experience, and just a few days ago we released the redesign of one of the most important pages in the admin portal, the device page. So if you use JumpCloud to manage your device fleets, you'll now be greeted by a new full page view that brings experience enhancements and new features to your fingerprints to help get the job done. Responsive design. Commands are now part of the device page, and System Insights was given a facelift. Rob's post has more details and some screenshots and other things like that. So go check those out. Super exciting. And Urvashi, you say that there's another last minute product update from Hari. So what we got
I
there?
have received breaking news, ladies and gentlemen, as of this morning. And this morning for me was 12 hours ago, so I had a little brain fart and forgot to put it in the document. But Hari had announced the Windows Light Touch deployment via provisioning package, PPKG, that went live, and then they had some issues, so they had to roll it back. But as of today, it's back. Like it's good and it's back. So I'm just posting the link here again to what he had initially announced, and it is now officially GA and good to go. That was it.
Yeah, the light touch deployment. I did see that they had rolled that back recently. I'm glad to see that that is back in working order. Woohoo! And for those of you that are excited about the device full page experience, I'm so glad to see those comments. Please go say something on the community post that Rob has put there and let him know how excited you are to see that. I happened to be on a call with a CSM and a customer just a couple days ago, and he had just seen it as well. And he's like, "Hey, I'm seeing this new page. What is this?" And so they were talking about it, and it was just fun to see the excitement and the surprise at that being there and new. And I know sometimes y'all don't necessarily like surprises, but in this case, I'm glad it was a good one to have all those extra things there and ready for you. So I'm just reading Urvashi's comment. Don't rob him of the excitement of your excitement. So go make a comment. All right. Yeah. Be happy we don't have a virtual hook that we could just pull you off stage there. So, all right. So Sam says it was funny when the team first saw the new device page and they couldn't find what they needed. It looks great. So yeah, glad y'all are liking that. We will definitely ping Rob and share, but I highly encourage you to post on the community and share with him what you are thinking. So I am seeing some comments on there where Rob is answering people when they do have feedback. So that is awesome. And with that, it is time to talk about Identity Federation. So Trevor, the stage is yours. Let's see what's going on.
Cool. Thank you. All right.
I'm going to unmute for drum rolls.
Let's see if I can get my screen shared successfully here. All right. Cool. All right. So, hey, everybody. Happy to be here, or be back here, rather. My name is Trevor. I'm product manager at JumpCloud, and today I am here to talk about JumpCloud Federated Identity. So, first up, what is it? So when you hear federated identity at JumpCloud, think of this as bring your own identity provider. What does this let you do? It lets you log in with Google or Entra ID or Okta to be able to get into JumpCloud resources. So what resources can I log into? Log into what, right? So anything that supports OAuth and OIDC. So that's user portal, that's single sign-on apps with SAML and OIDC. That's a local passcode reset. That's your Mac automated device enrollment, and that's Windows self-service account provisioning. Anything that supports an OAuth web-based login, you can log into with a different IDP. So think of this like get into JumpCloud with a Google login. What if I only want some of my users to be able to log in with an IDP like Google? You can do that. You can scope the IDP to a specific user group. So you have user groups set up in JumpCloud. You can actually attach those user groups to the identity provider. So you have certain users logging with Google, you have the rest of your users logging in with JumpCloud, etc. What can I not use it for yet? So logging with Google, awesome. I can use that to get in the user portal. I can use that to get into my single sign-on apps. What can I use it for yet? So anything that doesn't support OAuth, you're not going to be able to use it for. So for instance, LDAP, your Radius logins, and importantly, your device login. But we do have a handy workaround for that, which we'll get into in a little bit. But again, anywhere that supports an OAuth login, you'll be able to do a login with Google or a login with another identity provider if you want to. All right, what other new features are coming with this? So cool, I can log into Google to get into stuff. That's awesome. Maybe I'm interested in that, maybe I'm not. But regardless, what other cool features are coming along with this? Two things I want to hit on. Externally managed passwords. What does this mean? It means prevent user password changes in JumpCloud. So you can set a user to have an externally managed password, in this case, because we know that they log in with Google. And if they try to change their password in JumpCloud, they're basically going to get an error message. This makes us be able to basically have users with lockdown passwords. Can't change their passwords in JumpCloud. Can't change it through the Tray app on their device. That password can't be changed because we know it's being managed somewhere else. Another cool feature coming out here, disabling device password sync. So this is what I was alluding to a little bit earlier with how we handle the device login. If you have a federated user that logs in with Google, we still have to be able to get a password on the device. Those are kind of the rules of the road. Whether it's Windows, whether it's Mac, you have to have a password on the device. For both Mac and Linux, you'll now be able to disable the password sync. basically meaning you have a device with a local password. So if you think of like your phone, you got a PIN code on that thing, most likely, I hope. Very similar concept here now. That PIN code, that local passcode on your device for work will never leave that device. It's a local passcode only. JumpCloud never sees it. JumpCloud doesn't sync your JumpCloud password. That code stays locally on your device, but all of your web-based logins can be done with an identity provider like Google. So what's this look like? You go and you open up this user now, and that's bound to a device. You'll notice you'll have this password sync column very soon. Leaving that password sync column set to yes, which is the default value, is the typical JumpCloud experience we all know and love. That should work for most use cases. If you have a use case where you need to have a federated user, but you still want them to be able to have a passcode on their device, you can actually break that sync between JumpCloud and the device and make that password be local. So when you see password sync set to no, that means it's a local passcode on the device. On Windows, we can plug into Windows Hello. On Mac, it's still just a password, but regardless, it's a local password that never leaves that device. What happens if I forget it? It's local, it's not synced with JumpCloud. That sounds scary. If you ever forget it, you can do a login with your identity provider to be able to reset that password or that passcode. So user forgets their passcode, they can do a self-service password reset to be able to get into their device. Why should I care about any of this? It's all about flexibility. If you love the setup you have with JumpCloud today, awesome, cool. We love that. Love to hear that. In the future, if anything ever changes and you have certain users that you're like, actually, I need these users to log in with Google, or I need these users to have a local passcode on their device for one reason or another. There's a lot of different use cases that this opens up for you to give you even more flexibility in how you use JumpCloud. So when you think about JumpCloud's open directory, we're really leaning into that. If you want to bring an identity provider into JumpCloud, we'll let you do that. If you want to keep JumpCloud as your main identity provider for all your users, we love to hear that. It's all about bringing you flexibility. Okay. How do I try it out? I'm going to go through this quickly because you're going to see a live demo of this. But how do I test this out? There's just a couple steps you need to get up and running. And before we get into that, to go ahead and answer the probably looming question, general availability is coming for this next week. We've been in beta for the past couple months with a lot of different organizations, and we're ready to jump into GA, and that's coming next week. All right, so here's the steps to try it out. You create an OAuth app in your identity provider. You then create an identity provider in JumpCloud that basically matches up to that OAuth app. And then you add some user groups to a routing policy to say, hey, cool, I have this identity provider in JumpCloud, but like everything else in JumpCloud, you got to add some user groups to make sure that we can actually have users that are applied to that object. What does this do? This establishes trust between JumpCloud and the IDP. Federated identity is all about establishing trust between JumpCloud and the upstream identity provider. Once those resources trust each other, we hook them together. There's that trust established, and now you can have users log into JumpCloud with that identity provider. Couple extra steps here. You got to get users into JumpCloud. A lot of folks I'm probably talking to on the call today already have a bunch of users in JumpCloud. All that we require is that the JumpCloud email match up to the identity provider email. So if you have Google, they have an email address in Google, they have an email address in JumpCloud, those match up. They can now log in with Google to get into JumpCloud. Couple different ways, of course, to get users into JumpCloud. And then the final step here is you enable or disable some relevant settings. Mentioned these before, but basically device provisioning. You can do a login with Google to be able to get a user provisioned on a device and also to be able to reset a local password, which is pretty cool. You can decide to enable or disable device password sync, which basically says, should this user have a local password on the device or should it be managed by JumpCloud? And finally, externally managed JumpCloud passwords. This basically says, hey, this user shouldn't be able to touch their JumpCloud password because they're really a federated user. We know that Google handles their password, so we're not going to worry about their password in JumpCloud, and we don't want to let them change it. All right, now for the fun stuff. Can I see it in action? Absolutely, you can. All right, so I'm going to start off here in Admin Portal, and I'm going to walk through all the steps to get this set up to be able to create Google as an identity provider, and we're actually going to go see a user log into JumpCloud with Google. So I'm going to have this new identity providers page over here in my nav bar. I'm going to use Google as my identity provider. From here, I'm going to give this IDP a name. This can be whatever you want. This IDP URL where users go to log in, it is already preset for Google. You really only need 2 fields, client ID, client secret. These are your OAuth, client ID, and client secret. If you've ever set up an OIDC app in JumpCloud before, you're probably familiar to seeing these fields. In this case, we're going to need to get these from Google. How do I do that? It's a really easy setup. We have a lovely Help Center article. If you click Learn More, that'll walk you through that. I already have one freshly baked in the oven, so I'm going to drop those in so you don't have to watch me click through Google's Cloud Console here, as fun as that is on the demo, and I'm going to hit save. Yay, identity provider saved. So far, what do we have? We have some setup that we did on the Google side. Again, you can click the Learn More link here that'll walk you through that to get set up. You have an identity provider in JumpCloud, and those two things trust each other. So we now have the ability to get a federated identity in JumpCloud to do a login with Google. Last step here, create a routing policy so we can actually get some users logging in with this identity provider. Okay, so we're going to pick our user group here, which is demo users. This basically, again, just binds this user group to the identity provider and says, hey, anyone that's in this group, they need to be logging in with Google. From here, we're going to follow this link. If you don't already have Google set up as a cloud directory, you can go set up Google as a cloud directory. Basically, what this lets you do is be able to automatically import users from Google instead of having to create them manually. This is something that's been around in JumpCloud for a while. It just works really well here, so you don't have to manually create users. I already have a user imported from Google. We're going to go take a look at that user over here. So I have this user that, again, exists in Google, and they also exist in JumpCloud. I've set them to be a federated user managed by an external identity provider, which means they can't change their password in JumpCloud. And this user is able to now log into JumpCloud with Google. So take a look at that. We are going to grab their email address, and this is where the fun starts. So I'm going to pop over here to an incognito browser, and we're going to go to JumpCloud's user portal. I'm going to enter my email address here, and with any luck, we'll get redirected to Google. Hey, there we go. Awesome. So again, it happens really fast, but if you saw, we entered our JumpCloud email. In the background, it did some evaluation. It was like, hey, actually, I think you're supposed to log in with Google, and it threw us over to Google. From here, I'm going to go get logged in with my Google account. And then when I hit this next button, you're going to see me land back into JumpCloud. Yeah, now I'm in my JumpCloud user portal. From here, I can do anything I'd normally do in JumpCloud. For instance, I have AWS set up as a single sign-on app. And it's going to do its SAML magic in the background with JumpCloud. But what I did was had a JumpCloud session where I logged in with Google, and I'm able to get directly logged in to my AWS console. Honest question is, in theory, you could daisy chain SSO logins. Absolutely, you can. So we can do this. What you just saw was IDP initiated. So I could go start at JumpCloud and end up in AWS. But if I really wanted to, we can. Let's actually take a look at that. I like that.
Oh my God! Don't let my intrusive thoughts become a part of this.
This is exactly. This is a big part of the equation here. So let's get logged out of user portal. And I'm going to go and log out of my Google account so you can actually see me go through the whole login here. So give me one moment here. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, I'm going to grab my AWS URL, and we're going to go directly there instead of starting out in JumpCloud, and let's see what happens. So it's going to go fast, but I'm going to start at AWS, and it's going to be like, wait a minute, nope, you're actually supposed to log in with JumpCloud. All right, cool. And now I'm going to enter my JumpCloud user. And it's going to say, oh, no, you're actually supposed to log in with Google. Perfect. I'm going to log in with Google. And I'll land back at AWS. There we go. And as we all know, I went and logged out of everywhere, but Google logins are typically, Google sessions are pretty long-lived. So typically, you'll likely never even see that going back to Google unless that user has gotten logged out in that session or changed their password or something in Google. So a lot of times, you'll basically see the user go, whatever app they're supposed to trying to go to, in this case, AWS, they'll come back over to JumpCloud really quickly, and it'll say, hey, cool, you have an active session in Google. That's awesome. Go right back to AWS or wherever you're trying to go to. So pretty neat. I like that idea. I'm glad you brought that up. So with that being said, that was all kind of on the single sign-on front on the getting in the user portal. We talked a little bit about device logins, and I would love to be able to show you all what that looks like. So let's pop back over here. Now, we did a live demo, and I've had really good luck so far. But where I stop being as confident is when we start dealing with devices and virtual machines. So I have pre-recorded this demo on a virtual machine on a Windows 11 environment for you all. But what you're going to see here is basically I'm going to have a new Windows device that I've installed the agent on with a local admin account. But other than that, it's basically fresh out of the plastic. So I have a new Windows device with the agent. I handed it off to that test user that logs in with Google, and that user is going to go provision their account onto the device. That's the first thing we're going to see here. Hopefully you all are familiar with signing with JumpCloud. I think we've talked about it here before, but basically what that lets you do is have a Windows device or a Mac device and be able to provision an account onto that device for the first time. All right, so we're going to click sign in with JumpCloud. This is going to prompt us to log in to JumpCloud, which we're going to do. It's going to say, oh, no, actually, you're supposed to log in with Google. So it's going to come over here. They do their login with Google. And they land back, and now it's setting up a local account and asking them to set a PIN code. They set their PIN. And that's it. They're in, and they're working in their new Windows account. So I'm going to pause there for a moment. But basically, again, just to walk through what happened is we had a user that logs in with Google that got a new Windows device. They went to do a signing with JumpCloud. It's like, no, you're actually a Google user that needs to sign in with Google. They signed in with Google, and then JumpCloud came, provisioned them a new account, and they set up a local PIN code on that device that they access the device with going forward. Awesome. So that user is on their device. It's a Google user. They have a local PIN code. Maybe they set up some biometrics, but maybe they have now forgotten their PIN code and they're locked out of their device because they didn't set up any biometrics. They can't get into the device after a long vacation. What do? Do they call their IT help desk or admin and be like, help, get me back into my device? Nope, they don't have to. They can actually self-service themselves out of this with a login with Google. So now, again, users come back. They've forgotten their PIN code. What do? They come down here. They click this handy JumpCloud logo, which is going to help them get out of this terrible case of forgotten PIN syndrome. They're going to start their login process here. They're going to do a login with Google over here. Should look very similar to before. Boom. So what just happened? They logged in with Google. Google's like, yes, you're good, JumpCloud. This is a user that has a valid account in Google. They have a good password. We checked it. Maybe we did MFA, whatever we did in Google. We said they were good to go. And JumpCloud on their device instantly is like, okay, you're okay to reset your local PIN code. And from here, they can now set a new PIN. And now they're back in and working on their device, totally self-service, zero admin intervention. They are now good to go, back again working on their device. I'm showing this on Windows, of course, and the same exact flow works on Mac. So you can do the same flow on Mac. You forgot your password on Mac. You go through a very similar flow where you log in with Google, and then you can reset your local password on your MacBook. All right. That was a lot of content, a lot of demoing. And I am going to now.
Trevor, Sam is asking, when you were doing that, whether that binds the user to the device.
Great question. Yes, that first flow you saw me go through was sign in with JumpCloud will bind the user to the device automatically in JumpCloud. No extra steps on your part. The only prerequisite is you got to have the feature enabled, which you can enable by going to device and then settings, devices and then settings. You got to have a user in JumpCloud, and then of course the steps we showed to set up login with Google, and that's it. Then you start handing devices to users and they can log in with Google to be able to provision an account onto their device. Also want to mention that sign in with JumpCloud, that applies to JumpCloud logins as well. So even if the user doesn't log in with Google, if it's just a normal JumpCloud user, that's awesome. They can use that feature too. So yes, answer your question, it binds users to the device. Does that process work on Macs? Also, absolutely, it does. Yep, that whole process I just showed works on Macs. The only difference really here is, of course, Mac doesn't have an equivalent of Windows Hello. There's no concept of a PIN code. So it uses a local Mac password. But again, it's a local password that's on the device. And if the user ever forgets it, they can reset it with a login with Google or another identity provider.
Yeah, and then after they set the local password, if they have a Touch ID, they can also set that up as well.
Great call, Becky. Yes, thank you. Yes, absolutely. So yeah, typically, if they set up Touch ID or biometrics on the Windows device, they're using that to log in. On Windows, they have the PIN, but yeah, typically they're logging in with biometrics, only using that local passcode after, long weekend, vacation, etc., where they get prompted to log in, like on Mac, with their password. On Windows, they can typically use that PIN and biometrics as long as they want to. And if they ever forget it, just do a login with Google.
Well, the good thing is, the reason I mentioned the Touch ID is because that then gets them ready to use JumpCloud Go if they want to.
Great call. Great call. Yes. All right. I'm just scrolling through the chat here, trying to see if we have missed any questions. SaaS applications use sign in via Google. Google has SSO through JumpCloud. Yep. A bit late, but I'm guessing the intro was Trevor. He's doing the Lord's work.
You might have to use that as your intro from now on when you're talking about Federation.
I love that. All right. Becky or anyone, is there any other questions I've missed here? I want to make sure I hit everybody's.
I think we did get them. Actually, you had already answered most of James' question on the Mac anyway, but then you finished it up. Let's see. I think that was everything, wasn't it, Urvashi?
Yeah, I just had it.
Go
ahead.
I was just laughing at Kelly's next comment.
Our Lord and Savior Identity Federation.
Cool. Well, it looks like that's about all I had for you all today. So I appreciate everybody for joining in and learning about JumpCloud's federated identity. Again, this is going GA into throughout next week. We'll be doing a rollout. If you have any questions, feel free to email me, Trevor.Wiemann at JumpCloud.com. I'll put that in the chat too. You can feel free to reach out to me directly. We have a lot of great Help Center content that's already published and ready to go for you all once you see this feature pop up in your admin portal next week. But again, if you have any questions in the meantime, feel free to email me, feel free to post in the JumpCloud Lounge, and I will do my best to reply to it as quickly as I can. But yeah, I appreciate it, everybody. This was fun.
Yeah, it looks like Will popped up a question right as you were saying something there. If there are users already bound to the device, how do we transition them?
Yeah, so if you want that user to do a login with Google and they're already bound to the device, they can continue to get their password synced from JumpCloud as normal. If you want them to have a local password on the device, you can just go and turn password sync to no. Again, they'll keep whatever the last password was that they had, but will no longer sync a password from JumpCloud. So when you're doing that, definitely, obviously, think through the steps there that make sure that's actually what you want to be doing. But on the website, whenever you configure Google as an identity provider, that user can start logging in with Google to be able to get into all their JumpCloud resources without having to really touch anything on the device. They can continue to log into that device as normal. The only thing where kind of login with Google comes into play here on the device is if you set that password sync to be disabled, to be no, to be local on the device. At that point, it's like, oh, we probably have a different identity provider, and then password resets, things like that will happen at Google. But to answer your question, it works seamlessly, whether they exist on the device or whether it's a new user. It's just about getting the Google identity provider set up in JumpCloud. And Will, if you have any additional questions there, again, feel free to reach out and we can talk about your specific use case. But
awesome. Great. I don't see any more questions at the moment, but feel free to drop them in the chat while we're doing the news, y'all, and we can circle back to those. Not a problem. And Will says thanks. So I think you addressed this question. Alrighty. Urvashi, is it time for the news?
It is. And we have some things. Okay. MFA fatigue attack targets iPhone owners with endless password reset prompts. So apparently both the Kremlin-backed Fancy Bear Advanced Persistent Threat Group and a ragtag bunch of teenagers known as, I don't know how to pronounce this, have been known to use the technique also known as MFA prompt bombing successfully. So on March 22nd, there was an AI startup founder named Parth who detailed an attack that happened to him. So he detailed this on X, formerly Twitter. He said that his Apple phone, watch, and laptop all received 100 plus notifications asking to use those devices to reset his Apple password. Given the nature of the prompt, they can't be ignored or dismissed until acted upon, all but locking up the devices. In related news to this, Apple put out a statement saying, so basically what happens is it gives you all of these notifications and then it'll send you a message saying you should like call this number and it's Apple support supposedly. But then Apple has said in another article, if you get unexpected calls from Apple support, you're being hacked. So if you get an unsolicited or suspicious phone call from someone claiming to be from Apple or Apple support, just hang up, the company support website states. So basically, it's like, why would Apple support ever like call you, you know? So if they're trying to do that, it's not them. So it also warns against suspicious calendar invitations in mail or calendar, annoying pop-ups in the browser, unexpected software download prompts, and fraudulent emails.
So I'm going to assume it's either lapsus or lapsus, like, lapses, like lapses in judgment.
Yeah, probably.
Who knows?
Yeah, that lapsus was the name of the ragtag bunch of teenagers, quote from Ars Technica. But yes, has this happened to anybody who's on here? I don't know how widespread this is. They didn't say. It's just like it could happen to you. So I don't know how much.
I mean, the guy that reported it he said he's a startup an AI startup founder. So I have a feeling that they're starting with people like that.
The big shots. Yeah. They can get some good money from. Speaking of doing bad things, Sam Bankman-Fried gets 25 years in prison for fraud and money laundering at FTX and ordered to pay $11 billion in forfeiture. I hope I said that correctly. And I love this quote from the judge. So Judge Lewis Kaplan said on Thursday, according to Inner City Press, when he wasn't lying, he was evasive, hair-splitting, trying to get the prosecutors to rephrase questions for him. I've been doing this job for close to 30 years, and I've never seen a performance like that. And his sentence is also, I guess, meant to send a signal to the crypto industry at large to discourage other white-collar defendants and bad actors in the crypto space. So 25 years. We'll see what happens to crypto overall by the time he's out.
Yeah, but how long is he going to serve?
That's true. I have to hold my...
I almost did that, Kelly. Like 11 billion.
Billion. So yeah, 11 billion. I can't even wrap my head around the number 1 billion.
Most people can't.
11 billion. And
Most
you know
people.
what's sad? Where does that 11 billion go? Like, does it, do teachers get paid more? Do they, is the healthcare gonna be in better shape? I don't know.
No, it never is.
The answer is no. Moving on to one last scam article. This whole week was just scam news. X continues to break as fraudsters use deceptive links to scam you. So, lately, links on X, Twitter, are sending people to different sites than what they're clicking. A verified account on X recently posted a link to a legitimate Forbes article that took users to a Telegram account promoting a crypto scam. This is like a daisy chain of like news events. It's just the one thing cascading into another thing. So apparently, whatever you think it is. So X is failing to show users the immediate destination a link will send them. According to Bleeping Computers, scammers can embed multiple destinations into their links and design them so bots and automated accounts will skip over the crypto link and go straight to the Forbes article. However, actual users are all getting sent to the crypto scam.
Hmm. I'm a
I
little confused about how that's working, but I
and
guess
like,
they're
what
just
is
doing
the
insertions to redirect people.
and don't like the more internet we have, the worse it is. And now we will scrape the bottom of this internet barrel with this phenomenal headline and opening statement. I can't even. Former Yahoo CEO Marissa Mayer's new photo sharing app has a design from the Stone Age. When former Yahoo CEO Marissa Mayer unveiled the promotional images for her new photo sharing app Shine on Tuesday, I thought I was looking at one of the Facebook posts my elderly aunt has a habit of creating. But alas, the person posting was not my aunt, it was Mayor.
That's
As
like the
explained,
that's like one of the better Gizmodo articles and all.
I know, oh my God. And okay, I personally didn't think the design was that hideous, but it's pretty bad. So the link will be, I'm gonna post the link right now so you all can look at those screenshots and then I'll read the second bit. I agree, Kelly, it should be the opposite, but they're smart enough to not do that. So the second part is, as explained by Mayor, the app aims to help people easily create and share photos of trips, parties, or hangouts with friends. Shine does this by creating shared albums to which you and others can add photos in their original resolution. I mean, you can do that with Google Photos. If you're too lazy to go through the photos you've taken to decide which ones you want to upload, you can turn on the app's AI-powered manual mode. No, manual mode is different from the AI-powered thing. I think I copied and pasted something that was incorrect. But yeah, it has an AI mode that will decide for you what needs to be shared. Oh yes, thank you. Is that Becky sharing
Yeah. So this
any
is what
second
they're
now?
complaining about.
Wait, am I the only one that doesn't see it? Trevor, do you see the screen that's being shared?
No, I don't see it either.
Oh, weird. It's showing on my screen. Well,
Okay, let me try. Let me try.
Becky
maybe I
just
need to
showing up.
do yeah, maybe I need to do the whole screen instead of just a tab.
Are you trying again?
Yeah, I'll try again. We do.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna do an
I don't think it,
infinity window for a second there, so be careful.
I
Oh,
personally don't think it's that bad. I feel like it's just medium bad.
okay. Does it show
Yes,
you?
we can see it now.
Okay, now you can see Gizmodo because it was showing okay.
I mean, it's kind of school projecty, like college end of year assignment. Yeah,
Let's
it's
see.
not bad, but it's definitely not good, Kelly. I agree.
Oh, yeah, it's not going to show all of the images because of my
It
well,
doesn't look
yeah.
like a designer was paid to be involved in this project.
I mean, it
All
does
I'm
look
gonna
kind of like
say.
high school project when you look at this one
Yeah,
here. Maybe a teenager designed it in Canva. I
Yeah,
mean, didn't
looks
didn't
like
she
that.
didn't she have a baby a few years back? Maybe that's who's designing it for her.
Getting them early.
Well, you know how
But
people
yeah,
like to
that
hire their kids to do stuff like that.
it's nepotism at its worst slash best.
I guess this top one is a screenshot from the App Store.
But don't most photo like apps already do this? Like I do this with Google Photos, and I'm pretty sure there's other ways to do. Why do you have to make a new app? This is not even a space that needs to be addressed. My
I
neighbor's
don't
nephew has
know.
a Figma account.
I don't know. I'll
Yes.
stop sharing. So I
Sometimes
like,
I feel
yeah.
like people with too much time and money are just like creating problems, trying to solve problems that don't exist.
Yeah. I mean,
Who's
we
that?
already have so many photo sharing apps. Um, I don't know that it's filling a gap. So, um, I mean, is there something missing from those apps that she's trying to solve? I mean, because you really have to, if you're going to do something like that that's already saturated, you really
I
need to
don't know.
do something new and interesting.
But can I include my favorite news article from last week?
Yeah, we've got time. You could share a couple if you really want to.
Oh my God, I love this headline. Even the feds are tired of McDonald's broken ice cream machines. Regulators are finally hopping on the right to repair movement, and it starts with McDonald's ice cream machine. Federal regulators want to fix McDonald's broken ice cream machines and are asking to expand right to repair laws to address the issue. In a letter to the U.S. Copyright Office on Thursday, regulators asked for commercial soft serve machines to be exempt from current laws, making them difficult to repair. The laws will also make it more difficult for you to get a McFlurry. Oh my God. So basically, apparently, only technicians licensed by the company that made the device are allowed to touch the machines, and they charge over $300 for a 15-minute servicing, according to the letter. So they have identified commercial soft serve machines as one of four target device categories that would benefit from an easing of copyright laws.
Oh, there's all kinds of stuff on the interwebs about this, about how ridiculous it is, how especially for smaller franchisees, how
Yeah.
expensive it is, and how frequently they break. It's almost like maybe it's a racket. Not saying it is. I mean, but I mean, people have theorized that it might be. So there have been I've seen so many articles about it. It's so notorious that someone created a website that tracks whether or not the machines are
Working.
broken. Yeah, so you can check and see whether the machine's working at a particular McDonald's before you go there because it's so frequent. There's all
Oh
kind.
my
I mean, like
God.
if you search that, there's so much stuff.
Kelly's link.
Oh yeah, I think I remember that one, Kelly. It's definitely not, but it's been going on for so long. Like you can
The
find
subtitle is great for this. So the title is They Hacked McDonald's Ice Cream Machines and Started a Cold War. The subtitle is Secret Codes, Legal Threats, Betrayal. How one couple built a device to fix McDonald's notoriously broken soft serve machines and how the fast food giant froze them out.
yeah, they it that article is actually kind of fascinating in a weird way just because of how easy the fix would be and yet how they block it because of reasons.
This reminds me of one time when I was in college. I was super, I don't know if I've told the story on here before. I only have five stories. Anyway, I was super tired and I had like basically failed an exam and I was just holding on for dear life because I had stayed up all night in the library studying for this, pretty much failed it. And I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go and get a milkshake from Chick-fil-A. And that will be all that I need to continue to have a will to live. So I get there. on like 2 hours of sleep in the last 48 hours. I'm waiting in line. I get to the front and I'm like, can I have a strawberry milkshake? She's like, oh, honey, I'm so sorry, but the milkshake machine's not working. And I was like, okay, thank you. And then I cried. I went back to my dorm room and I cried. I think I have told the story before, but yeah, it was bad.
That's what happens when you're on very low sleep. It's just like just one little thing will set you
And
off.
you.
Yeah. Well,
Kelly,
like
should we
total
start a
breakdown.
petition? Should we start a petition for Netflix to do an investigative documentary on the ice cream machine conspiracy?
You should check that petition site. There may be one on there that you can just go sign.
Oh my God. Change.org. Open
Yeah.
it right now.
Yep. Go check. And
Oh my
Kelly
God.
said
Yeah.
she watched that whole thing unfold instead of watching TV drama for a while. Yeah, because it was probably mid or late pandemic, and I'm telling you, it sucks you in because it's so ridiculous how frequently those are broken. So
Speaking of conspiracy theories, the Princess of Wales. Is she no? Who is what's Kate Middleton? The something or something. Is she Princess of Wales? I don't know.
I
She,
think so. Well, we
she put
did we
out a
talk about it
statement.
last
She
week?
put out a statement. Did you see the statement?
It's sad. I mean, okay,
Yeah,
so to catch up those of you who I'm sure half of you don't care, but we're going to talk about it anyway, just briefly, because we already talked about it before about how the conspiracy theories were
all over
off
the place.
off the wall with bonkers. But everybody was demanding to know where Kate was and what was going on. And we were just kind of rolling our eyes at it, right? Like this is getting to the point of ridiculous. Like people demanding to know where she was. And we had said the last official statements had been she had gone through surgery, she was going to be out through Easter, and let her be, right? Well, no, because there had been a badly photoshopped image. It really wasn't that bad. I mean, it had a few mistakes, but for normal people, that's actually pretty decently photoshopped. But for the experts, it's like, oh no, something's bad, something's wrong because they missed a part on a sleeve and a little bit of the hand, and this is egregious. So so then people started demanding to know what was going on. And remember, even though these people are part of the royal family and they have certain duties, still, this is still an actual person with health problems. Um, all this controversy was going on, and so they finally did release a statement that this poor woman does have cancer. So all these people demanding to know what was going on and having these conspiracy theories about the prince was having an affair and involving this other poor woman that didn't want to be involved. And Kate wanted a divorce. I mean, you can go read if you really want to, you can go read all of the theories. This poor woman does actually have cancer, and she was wanting to stay out of the public eye while they talked to their kids. They were waiting until Easter break. I think that's one of the things that could have happened. They were waiting until they had time with their kids in private to tell them so that they wouldn't hear it from any of the other kids at school. That's why they didn't make it public. It's just,
But you know what's really like infuriating me and why I brought this up under tech news, like IT news, is that now people are saying that her statement is a deep fake because she's wearing the same sweater that she wore in some other photo. And then there's people saying, no, it's not the same sweater, it's a different sweater. And it's like, just let it be.
people can re-wear clothes, you know? Um, it,
So
it's
yeah,
it's possible.
it
Or
gets
people
worse.
can have more than one sweater that look alike. It's, yeah, it happens, people. So
We have now IT Hour and Mythbusters
that's right. We're going to have a spinoff.
combo show.
We're just going to shake our finger at people and say, get a grip on reality. The conspiracy theories are out of control, and you need to go outside and sit under a tree for a little while, but only when it's sunny, not when it's raining because of lightning. That's for another day. There was a whole thing about this when she wore the same dress to a couple of events before she married William. Yeah, heaven forbid that people rewear their clothes. Environmental consciousness, fast fashion, people can rewear clothes, even if they're in the public eye and they have plenty of money. It is okay for people to rewear clothing and be conscious of the environmental impact if they don't. Okay? It's all right. Let's chill out a little bit, people.
It's the end of the quarter. Leave Becky alone with this bullshit. Y'all remember that
I will
Leave
tell you
Britney
something.
Alone?
Don't mess with me at the end of the quarter.
Do y'all remember that Leave Britney Alone video that went viral? I feel like I want to remake it for like Leave Becky Alone. I'm gonna post it on the JumpCloud YouTube channel. I just want everybody. It's the end of the quarter. I just want everybody to leave Becky alone. Leave Becky alone.
I've got so much on my plate. I just want to have some time to myself. Could you just please? I've got so much pressure on me. Okay, I'm done.
I feel like JumpCloud HR is gonna get an email after this and be like, 2 of your employees were weeping on the idea. What's going on?
My kid just came in and asked me if I was okay.
We just started a whole new conspiracy theory now.
They heard
Are you
me
having
and
fun, Trevor?
they just came in and like, are you okay? Well, what's really funny
On
is
that note.
well, what's really funny is just a couple of days ago, one of my Facebook memories came up, and it was from during the pandemic. And it was literally something similar where I had been laughing in a meeting, and we were reminiscing about something. And, it was like middle of pandemic, just blowing off steam because everybody's working from home. We're all stuck at home and we're just like punchy, right? So apparently I was in a meeting, and we were, all of us close to the same age. So we were talking about Captain Kangaroo, which was, a kid's show when I was little. And we were laughing and we were talking about Captain Kangaroo. And same kid comes in and goes, are you sure you shouldn't be focusing on work right now?
Oh, it's the laughter police.
It was so cute because they were several years younger, and they were concerned.
Yeah.
Yeah. And thought I
I
was
love that.
thought I was goofing off at work. So it was absolutely
I love that.
and they're good.
I now turn the tables on my mom when, like, if I know she's going out to dinner, I'm like, better be home by 9. Who's going? Who's going with you? Who's driving you home? Huh?
Do you have a safe word?
Yeah. I've just turned the table because now she goes out more than I do. Trying to keep up.
You're grown. She has not the same responsibilities. So,
Yeah.
Someday. Kelly is reminiscing about Captain Kangaroo now. So no ping pong balls, Kelly. All right, we are at time, and we, as usual, have gone completely off the rails. But thanks for hanging in with us and laughing with us, hopefully with us, and not at us. I like Kelly's self-care challenge, though.
Too.
We'll have to put that up.
I'm not going outside where people are. I'm not doing it. It's not happening. I don't have any grass in the building. I do not want to interact with people.
Maybe you can find a tiny courtyard that has no people for 5 minutes, 2 minutes.
I'll just find my cat and squish him. That will also work.
You're going to hug him and squeeze him and call him George.
Yes.
All right. Well, Okay, at that we should probably end this painfulness and call it a day. Hey y'all, if you are celebrating anything this weekend, enjoy. If you're not, but you're still taking time off, I hope you enjoy it. If you want to go touch grass, go do it. Go enjoy the beautiful. If it's spring in your area, go enjoy it. I hope it's beautiful. If it's hot like it is near Urvashi, then I hope you go find some coolness. And when we see you next week, it will be April. So we'll see you again next month. And have a great weekend, y'all. Thanks for joining us. And we'll see you again soon. Bye, all.